From a mouth-watering low-country boil to a mountaintop tour by horseback. On this episode of Georgia Outdoors, we'll follow a local family as they venture out for their first time to experience what camping in Georgia's wilderness is all about.
Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible by a grant from Mary Hall Singleton and by the Imlay Foundation.
From the age-old mountains of our Appalachians, to the rich diversity of our southern swamplands, to the hidden life of our barrier islands, Georgia gives countless opportunities for families of all kinds to explore, experience, and enjoy her endless resources.
There's so much diversity here. You really have a little bit of everything. Great places where you can take the family camping and really focus on having fun and doing a lot of great activities in the short amount of time that you have to get away from school and work.
Georgia's a great state for camping. You can see it all, whether it's from alligators to black bear, deer, it's out there.
You have a great time span during the year to go camping. The temperature is great all year long, so you pretty much camp comfortably with your family from, say, early spring to late fall, even into winter a little bit. But it's just a great area, and it's quick to get to places.
Quick indeed. In fact, the state of Georgia prides herself in having a state park located within an hour's drive, no matter where you live. Whether you've been camping all your life or you've never been camping at all, Georgia's wilderness is there to be enjoyed by everyone.
You do not need to be an expert to go camping. You want to make sure you have a tent with a good rain fly on it. It's always good, of course, to have a water supply, fresh water. You never want to rely on the streams or waterfalls that are nearby without filtering it, of course. You want to have sleeping pads. You want to have sleeping bags. Anything to create that comfort.
To prove that camping in Georgia is truly easy and fun, we found a family with perfect credentials, inexperienced but willing. Meet the Fairbanks family. Rick, Brenda, 11-year-old Kayla, 13-year-old Sydney, and Ridge. He's 7. They had never been camping together before, but have decided to brave the elements, rain or shine. First stop was REI, an outdoor recreation store filled with the necessary camping amenities, as well as a helpful and experienced staff. Jason Lane, REI's retail supervisor, offered the Fairbanks family some friendly advice on the basics of camping.
How you guys doing today? Doing well. You guys need help with anything?
We're going to go camp and need to rent some gear and get some gear.
Okay.
The tent you see behind me is a great family camping tent. It's taller, so you can get in there, you can stand up, you can change clothes. Plenty of room for your family to move in and out, for kids to run in and out. And they make that style of tent all the way up to a 6-person, so it gets even bigger than that.
The main thing you want to look at in your sleeping bags, you have synthetic bags and you have down bags. Your synthetic bags are nice because they're going to keep you warm even when they get damp. Their insulation properties continue even when they're wet. If you go with a down sleeping bag, they're a little bit lighter for backpacking, but the disadvantage to them is that if they do get wet, they clump together and they're not as insulated, so you lose some of that property. For family camping, I recommend the synthetics because you're not usually dealing with having to carry a whole lot of weight, so you don't have to worry about that as much. And also, you do sometimes encounter some dampness, you spill sometimes, so it's a great way to not have to worry about it. You definitely want to invest in a good sleeping pad, and we rent these as well, so you don't have to buy them the first time. But basically what a sleeping pad is going to do is 2 things. One, it's going to insulate you from the ground, so all that heat that your sleeping bag is keeping in, you're not going to lose to the earth. People who don't use a sleeping pad don't realize how much heat loss they expose themselves to directly into the ground. These are lightweight. A lot of them have self-inflating properties, so you can scrunch them up real small and then they'll self-inflate for you. And then the other thing is that they keep you comfortable. You're going to want some light around the camp area, first of all, to keep you safe, and it also is a lot more fun. and it keeps everybody a little bit more comfortable in the darkness. So flashlights, everyone should have a flashlight, but I recommend getting 1 or 2 lanterns for the campsite as well. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind when you're family camping is keeping everybody safe. You want to take a good family camping first aid kit. Hopefully nothing's going to ever happen, but you want to be prepared. So you want to have some Band-Aids, maybe some gauze, just things for your normal cuts and scrapes and bruises. A good bug spray is helpful. They make a number of them. DEET is a chemical that's known, it's probably one of the most popular in a lot of the bug sprays. It's the most powerful. But when you're dealing with children, a lot of times that chemical is a little bit too harsh. The other thing I'd recommend that you probably won't overlook, but taking a good SPF of 45 or 30 sunscreen. Really important to keep everyone safe during your trip. Next thing to stay safe is planning ahead. So you want to make sure that you consult some maps and some really good books in the area that you're going to go camping so that you know places that are fun and interactive to go, but also safe places to go that your family is capable of and that you're not going to get into dangerous situations.
Probably the ranger is going to have an area for maps, and when you go into a park.
They will, exactly. When you get to the park, you want to go to the visitor center. You want to check in with them. A lot of times you'll have to do that because you'll have to register your campsite,
Right.
Maybe pay a fee. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But you definitely want to stop there and register with them. Some of these maps are nice because they give you a little bit more information about the surrounding areas. It's a great idea to let your children kind of help pick the activities, have them help you look at those things and pick out what they want to do throughout the day, whether it's horseback riding, paddling, anything. If they help pick it, they're going to be a lot more excited about doing it for sure. Well, let's get all your gear together and we'll head over to the rental department and get you squared away with all the gear for your trip, and then we'll get you on your way.
Thanks for all your help. We'll be talking to you.
Sounds
Maybe
good.
we'll buy some stuff in the future if this works out well.
That sounds great. We'd love to see you back.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for shopping with us.
Geared up and ready, the Fairbanks joined Yvonne Blythers, founder and organizer of the Edge of Night Camping Club.
Today we're at Indian Springs State Park, and I brought the Fairbanks family. This is their first camping trip as a family. They've had a great time, especially Little Ridge.
First things first, a hearty breakfast. Cooking responsibilities are shared among everyone in the club.
Who cooked breakfast?
Who cooked breakfast?
We all did.
We all did.
The Edge of Night Camping Club is a group of families that go camping. The club has been around about 11 years, and we're getting larger every summer. Being a single parent of 2 boys, they wanted to be outdoors a lot, and I didn't feel safe in the neighborhood, so I took them to the outdoors, where I felt comfortable in state parks, and they loved it, and they wanted to bring their friends, and then a few of my friends wanted to come, and that's kind of how we got organized, and it's been great.
The Edge of Night Camping Club hosts events like this group campout throughout the year, and it's open to anyone.
Okay, we have all day.
You better get started.
Our mission basically is spending time with your children in the outdoors, keeping families together, doing wholesome fun, and just family-oriented things.
Indian Springs is known as America's first state park, a fitting location for the Fairbanks' first campout. After breakfast, the camping club, as well as some friendly neighbors, helped the Fairbanks pitch their tents.
We had neighbors show us how to pitch the tent and what was important, and we all bonded while we were doing it.
Now that camp is set up, it's time to have some fun. The kids enter a park-wide fishing competition. State parks are great places to introduce kids to fishing. Many state parks, like Indian Springs, have public fishing areas and host regular public fishing events that are easy to get involved with.
I signed up for this fishing contest, and so first I'm like, I'm not gonna win. But then I just went down off the dock and like threw my fishing rod out, you know. Waited a couple minutes, and all of a sudden I saw my string go into water. So I pulled it out, and well, it was just this little fish. I got 4th place, but
For a winner.
Ow! I caught you. I've never been fishing before, so Me either. And I almost catch the fish. Caught.
What about the low country boil?
Usually when we camp, we have a night where we have like a big picnic, and we're doing the low country boil today.
A low country boil is known as a one-pot meal, inviting a variety of ingredients. No two boils are the same. Club member Dwayne Jackson isn't usually the chef, but today he stepped up to the task.
I was a guest, and I was one of the first to arrive, and now I end up being the cook. All right, we got cabbage, celery, we got little types of sausage, we got some corn, we've got some potatoes in here as well. We got some legs in here.
The low country boil was quite impressive. The food spread Yvonne put on was great.
After that, we sat around the fire with the group, tried to make some s'mores, and we must have talked until like 2 in the morning. It was a lot of fun. We started going around the circle, playing games, naming movies, airplanes, cars, all different topics.
Everybody had a great time. It was new to us, and the second time around, I think it's going to be no problem whatsoever. I think it'd be more enjoyable.
A few days later, with a little bit of experience under their belts, the Fairbanks prepare for their first unsupervised campout.
We might have some difficulties, but I think we can handle it.
Before going on their own, they test out their solo camping skills on a smaller scale.
What games are you guys playing?
Backyard camping is a great way to test out gear, and it's easy access for amenities like extra blankets or popcorn. Coming up, we'll see how the Fairbanks manage on their own at Fort Mountain State Park.
Whoa.
Books are a good way to introduce your family to the great outdoors. Here are a few that our young reviewers liked.
If you like to tell scary stories in the dark, this will be a great book for you. It is called More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It has 28 very scary, creepy, haunted, and spooky short stories. And the pictures are very detailed and very scary. Here's an example of a story in the book. It is called The Voice. It is about a girl who starts hearing voices when she was in her room. The voice gets louder and closer until it is right by her bed. She screams and wakes up, but there's nothing there. This story really scared me, but most of all, I had fun. This is a great book to read in the dark. I think it is an awesome book.
In the book, Amelia Bedelia Goes Camping, it seems that Amelia Bedelia can't do anything right. Amelia can't pitch a tent even with 2 boys helping her. When she catches a big fish for dinner, she lets it go. She wastes the coffee. She can't start a campfire, and she has no idea whatsoever how to row a boat. Mr. and Mrs. Rogers begin to think the camping trip is ruined when Mrs. Rogers gets a surprise. But you'll have to read the book to find out. I think you should read Amelia Bedelia Goes Camping because it's easy to read, very good, and funny too.
Did you know that you can cook food in an aluminum can or even in a paper bag? There are many things I did not know about cooking before reading Cooking in the Can. I found out that planning ahead and making a list before a camping trip will save me time. I learned that all rivers, lakes, and ponds are not good for drinking water. One of the best kinds of fire is a log cabin fire. It's one of the best because it burns slowly and is perfect for cooking. Cooking in a can taught me how cooking outdoors can be a cool thing to do. I can't wait to try it.
After renting some gear, learning a thing or two from some experienced campers, and testing out their skills in the backyard, the Fairbanks head to Fort Mountain State Park for their first trip alone. Located in Chatsworth, Georgia, just 90 miles north of Atlanta, Fort Mountain gets its name from a mysterious rock wall built hundreds of years ago. This 855-foot marvel sits at the highest point of Fort Mountain's 3,700-acre forest.
We started the day out getting up really early,
We packed up the car, loaded up everything, hope we didn't forget anything, and drove up to Fort Mountain.
How you guys doing?
Good, my name's Rick.
Because this is the family's first campout, we arranged for a special guided tour along one of the park's many nature trails.
It's about 3,800 acres in size. We have an elevation highest here a little over 2,800 feet. We've got about 70 miles of trails on this park alone. That's probably the largest trail system in the state park system. But what makes Fort Mountain pretty unique is the drastic elevation change. Say from Chatsworth, which is a little over 800 feet, and you go up to a little over 2,800 feet in about 6 miles. So it's a pretty drastic elevation change. You got spectacular vistas, and also having that drastic elevation change, the mountain has its own weather patterns too. They're kind of unique to the areas.
It's a beautiful park. It's in the wilderness. You feel like you're in touch with nature here. The overlooks are fantastic, and it's just a great park to visit. We had a trip with a ranger. We did a trail walk. We saw a tower that's built back in the 30s during the Great Depression.
This fire tower was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt helped to resolve the Great Depression of the 1930s by putting these young men to work. The CCCs were able to feed their families and themselves during these dire times through labor and determination. Buildings built by the Civilian Conservation Corps can be found in state parks throughout Georgia.
And after that, we went to a fort that was built by ancient people, but they don't really know who they were.
I don't know that we'll ever know for sure who built the wall or for what purpose, but I think it's fun for folks to basically come up, visit the park, visit the mountain, and make their own speculations and wonder about it.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
Even after practicing at home, the Fairbanks run into some complications.
We tried to pitch our tent, which is kind of funny because we had 2 tents last time and we pitched them without any problem and even did it in our backyard.
When we were setting up the campsite, we had some difficulties with the smaller tent, but the big tent we got pretty good. With the smaller tent, we couldn't find which way the poles would go and which way to set the cover on top. But after that, we found out the right way and everything went pretty good.
Fort Mountain State Park is one of 5 state parks with equestrian trails. If you're looking to go horseback riding at the park, the folks at Fort Mountain Stables are happy to help.
Fort Mountain Stables, we do trail rides. We got about 20 miles of riding trails we can do. Very beautiful ride. Once you got here is your reins. That's how you're going to control your horse.
Looking to take advantage of everything Fort Mountain State Park has to offer, the Fairbanks signed up for a tour of the mountain via horseback. After some instruction, the family got acquainted with their horses.
Well, they gave us horses, and I got the best one. Then my brother kind of got the fastest horse. My sister got the lazy one.
I got the spunky horse.
My mom got the spunky one.
My mom, she kind of got the feisty horse.
And my dad got the one that doesn't care what it's doing.
But my dad's horse wasn't really that good.
I've been on a horse twice in my life, and my wife was scared of me because I was tailgating her. But my daughters ride every week, and they were old pros at this, and it worked out great for them. And the little boy, they put him on top of a horse and just said, "Giddy up, let's go." He was a little nervous, but it worked out good for him. His first horse riding experience worked out great.
We went horseback riding, and I was scared at the beginning. I got the steering part, and then I didn't have to make him go because he sort of followed the other horses.
We just love being outdoors, and the fact that we are all together as a family is really exciting for us. We don't get a chance to do that very often.
and just being on horses was part of the family loves, and it's so relaxing to see the views and the scenery out here. Sydney and Kayla were in hog heaven because they love horses. The stable managers showed us scenes that, you know, being that high up on the horse that you probably wouldn't see just hiking.
We had lots of fun. We got to see lots of mountains, great views. The trail was really fun.
Very, very peaceful and quiet and relaxing for us.
This is a great place to take families riding out here. I mean, good time to get families together, just having them laugh and smile and stuff like that. Especially the kids who've never ridden before, they start out scared, nervous, and they come back laughing and grinning, and that's what it's all about.
Horseback riding was so much fun. I haven't been on a horse since I was in like high school. So I was a little nervous in the beginning, but it was fun watching the kids have fun with it.
Fun.
That was great. I loved it.
Again.
After such an exciting day, the Fairbanks celebrate with a feast.
We brought a variety of food because we didn't know what we'd be hungry for. So we have chicken, sausage, hot dogs, corn on the cob, beans. It's a pretty big meal, but you know, we're open to share it with any neighbors if they come around.
It's fun being up here in the woods because, well, it's really peaceful and everything.
It's probably fun hanging with my family because we get to talk more instead of them being at work all the time, and we get to hang out more.
I like staying in the tent. I love it when it rains in the tent. Sounds fun. Never tried it before. Think sounds fun.
Each of us had our responsibilities. One person was responsible for making sure that the food list was there, the sleeping bags, the tent, the firewood.
During the downtime, strictly tonight will be a campfire, probably cooking some marshmallows. We got a radio we're going to listen to for some music, and just sit around the campfire with some folding chairs and be comfortable and enjoy.
We asked the Fairbanks what they enjoyed most about their camping experiences.
My favorite part about camping was like the fire and how we got to like sit around and roast the marshmallows.
I don't know if I had a favorite experience. The whole thing was great. From the moment we knew we were going on the camping trip, we started packing like a week early. The kids were all excited, trying to decide what they were going to bring, and we got there. We all made breakfast together. It was a real bonding experience for us. We don't get a lot of time together during the week, so it was like a lot of fun to be together that weekend. Everybody had their different assignments, cooking. Girls made pancakes and waffles.
With Georgia's stunning ecological diversity, families are able to experience a vast array of camping opportunities across the state.
There are a lot of different kinds of alternative camping, new camping that's a little bit different than our classic stereotype of what camping is. One thing that's great to do is to go canoe camping or kayak camping. You can do that on lakes, rivers, you can do that on the coastal marshes that we have on the coast of Georgia. Just a lot of great fun.
Considered to be the easiest form of camping, car camping offers families the chance to bring many of their favorite amenities with them on the adventure. Simply pull up to an established campground, set up a tent, and enjoy the outdoors. Though it may not be right for your first time out, a more adventurous way to enjoy family camping is by spelunking or caving. Georgia is home to over 500 caves, waiting to be explored by the more experienced camping families. Primitive camping, also known as backpacking, is one of the best ways for families to get in touch with nature. All the equipment you'll need is carried in a backpack over the duration of your trip. The key concept is pack it in, pack it out, or leave no trace. Everything you bring into the wilderness is your responsibility. Primitive campers strive to leave their campsite and the trail cleaner than it was when they first arrived, which is a great way for parents to instill responsibility and values in their children. Any of these camping methods can help form a lasting family bond.
I think family camping is important because with our busy schedules, a lot of people don't see their children until the evening and maybe a few minutes in the morning when they're rushing them off to school. And when you come out camping, you get to spend quality time, hours together, and really get to talk with your children and do activities with your children and maybe learn something about them that you didn't know.
Family time is a priceless gift that can be celebrated often. And what better way to enjoy those moments than in nature's uninterrupted environment? Escaping with loved ones has never been easier or more accommodating than now. After all, even the farthest reaches of Georgia begin right in your own backyard.
Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible by a grant from Mary Hall Singleton and by the Imlay Foundation.